Alright, good evening everyone. System Chalk here with the, I believe, 47th episode. I did have a little trouble recording. I was probably about 3 or 4 minutes in, and then there was kind of a scary message that popped up. I couldn't actually see the text of it, but it seemed to be an OBS error. So I don't know how frequently Cultist Simulator saves, but one of the backup files was basically 4 minutes away from what I've got here, so I think this should be the game as where I left it, but my apologies if it's jumped ahead. So, in any case, we are playing as Ivan Vucetich, the detective, during our Librarian run. Now, we've got a few different tasks ahead of me, so I've noticed here that we've got a Season of Suspicion coming up after us. Now, there's not a whole lot for me to check with Connie right now, right? Fascination sort of seems like it's going to create some problems for me. I'm doing a painting right now, so I think what we're trying to do is generate a restlessness. I don't know. Yeah, if we can generate a restlessness, so much the better. If not, we carry on. Maybe we see what a restlessness does with like a minor prisoner just to see how that turns out. But alright, the artist's reward. My recent work is considered notable. I've exhibited the lady's paintings publicly. Surely someone will buy something. But the big worry I have right now is we've got a tentative evidence on the table and we've got an investigation that's going to be happening. So I really should start destroying the evidence. Another thing I might consider is, yeah, this is such a silly thing to do. I'm actually going to start going to the, I'm going to start going to the stag door, or, white door. I'm going to start going to the, I'm going to try and get the favor from authority. The other thing I can do is actually use a lot of reason in an investigation. Yeah. I need to buy myself some insurance, I think. So I think this was a bit premature. I actually have a more reliable way of getting a Season of Ardors is reasonably safe. Yeah, I have a slightly more reliable way of getting a favor from authority, so their fate in this history is yet unwritten. Okay, now unfortunately... Okay, we'll use the Callagine to destroy the evidence here. And for the Explore verb, I can't really get the entry consultant to do that. Let's get a moth follower to check out the city, because that may potentially generate an old and happy far off things. Okay, not too exciting on its own. Glimmering. Oh, just enough time for the glimmering. Sorry, I feel like a couple of these steps I've actually wound up, I'm doing these kind of a second time. Okay, subtle fracture doesn't really get me a whole lot. I think we already said this wouldn't be sufficient for a Z. We'll give it a shot, but... This we will pay up. So this is new, but... Alright, last night in the great pavilion above the grey sprawl of the Bounds, a woman who once called herself Teresa Gallagher sat on gilt-fringed cushions and offered me a horn cup of dream wine. The wine is imaginary, she explained, but the cup is not. To navigate the Mansis, one must understand the distinction. Perhaps one day you'll join me on the pilgrimage, or I'll join you. So here, let us share a secret. And her breath tickled my ear. So this is more exploratory. If I add the Thakic Invocation, and I guess it would have to be bitter black salts. Yeah, so we need 10 or higher for Grail there. So I guess I'm lucky that this evidence won't be around for won't be around to be generated, I don't think. They may generate another tentative evidence, but I don't think I'll be affected by this one. I do need to be careful of the Season of Visions. Only one of these is going to affect me, though. Okay, old and happy far off things is welcome. My minion is returned, the evidence has been destroyed, I am a little safer. Unfortunately, oh, the entry consultant is... So... I will be able to do something with Connie, but I think the entry consultant gets away. Considering the evidence, if a hunter has found notoriety, they will use it to try and upgrade, create or upgrade evidence. If they're meticulous, they'll always succeed. If they're erratic, they're more likely to fail. But they can occasionally create evidence without notoriety. Okay. The investigations turned up no new leads. We don't need to go hard on the troublemaker anymore. So I do get to experiment with the restlessness when the time comes. What am I going to do about the fascination? Because I don't have the fleeting reminiscence anymore. I'm going to get hit by it, and then we figure things out from there. Okay, spider's door it is. Ah, another... Alright. I'm going to leave the explore verb open for a little while, just so that we can move the Caligine when the time comes. I'm safe for now. My adversary has not enough evidence to bring a case against me, and they found no new clues. So, this is overall good. I don't have a lot of time left with Connie, but I have enough. Alright, nothing. My words cease like sand and glass. So... decide a prisoner's fate. Freedom, death, or... mercy, the fountain of regret. Let them go free? Why? Do I need an answer? Do they? And... it would not actually hurt for this to turn into dread. So I'm gonna avoid doing the... I'm going to avoid doing the painting with that. So I don't actually know what happens out of this. I'm hoping that we get an opportunity to recruit them, but it's possible that the result is... it's possible that the result winds up being like, you know, they come back and, you know, now we have to deal with them and Spencer Hobson again. Actually, with that in mind, this is not necessarily the smartest thing for me to be doing, but I think I'll summon King Crucible again, just because I can. And we'll send him after Spencer Hobson. Okay, Connie Lee is free. free in the free sense. So I'm not doing that again. But I guess it's nice to be nice every once in a while. Okay. Temptation's coming up. I've increased my knowledge of the secret histories behind the one we know. So let's start by locking away the hulking fellow. I think I'm going to use a passion here, so it's going to take a minute, but we can just move straight up to the next unresolved ambiguity. I've locked this one away safely. When their screaming and raving subsides, I will subdue them properly. Yeah, I think we're hiring someone else, so we will put them in the cupboard as well, and then probably we'll have some evidence to deal with, at which point we'll get the Callagine to do its usual thing. Okay, I also want to use King Crucible to try and kill Spencer Hobson. Again, it's the least efficient way for me to do that, but I have the opportunity to try, so let's give it a shot. King Crucible will come only when the room glows with the aspect called Forge. He also requires a lantern for the light of the glory that he claims to know. Excuse me. Now, one of the things I do want to do is I do want to explore with the Port Noon anecdote, but I gotta be really careful about what I let happen with the Season of Ambition, so I'm gonna hold that off as long as I can. Let's get you to go away. But yeah, I'm gonna have a little bit of a... There's gonna be a little bit of a juggling act for the next little while. But at some point I do want to put the... at some point I do want to turn this into a location, and obviously we need 4 more Vagabonds maps, which means 8 more unresolved ambiguities when all is said and done. I'll start reading the text again, but I have a little... Sorry, it's whenever I start recording an episode and... basically, whenever I start recording an episode and get interrupted, even if it's, you know, early on like it was this time around, I start getting this really weird sense of deja vu for everything that I have said, and it makes me feel like I am repeating my... Like, it basically, the feeling is that I've said something, like just said something, and that I'm saying it again immediately. And it could be something that I know hasn't happened. So obviously, with Connie Lee, that was news to me, that you can let people go and it doesn't, there's no effect in terms of being able to recruit people. Maybe that's different for, like, hapless prisoners and followers betrayed. Excuse me. But with, like, Connie Lee, obviously I would have behaved differently under those circumstances. So I have evidence for myself that I'm doing things that I've not seen on the stream, and yet it is very, very hard to shake the feeling that I'm just repeating things that have already been said on the video. So I apologize. It's very distracting, and it's something I need to get better at, but I am going to second guess myself a couple of times before this is over, I think. Okay. We're working on King Crucible. We may lose our job, or have some difficulty with our job if he resists our summon, and we're going to go back to the Mallory because in the end we want to get more unresolved ambiguities. Well, that was silly of me. Oh man, that was careless. So this is why I shouldn't be putting down Port Noon anecdotes. I'm willing to risk it, but I do actually want this. I want my library still. Okay, murder scheme. That might actually work to my favor. So I'm certain that my adversary has lodged a copy with their notes elsewhere, with their solicitor, with their superior, even with a contact in the press. This is troubling. So there's a specific order in which I want to do things, but it's looking good. So the idea here is I'm going to start. I'm going to start by sticking the hulking fellow into the cupboard. Same with the Callageen's hireling. Then we'll probably use the Callageen to destroy the evidence. Okay, that's a rebellious spirit, so that's reason the inspector's position is going to go... Okay, so that simplifies things quite a bit for me. So get rid of the hulking fellow, Callageen will destroy evidence, and I don't know what the deal is with King Crucible. That's nice. Last night in the Mantis I visited the Mallory, from whose hammers and crucibles one does not emerge unchanged, and for 9 beats my heart ceased while it entered the fires of the forge, and the passions of the forge entered into it. I woke with the dawn, and its poor divided colors inspire memories of the forge's passion for the sun, of the vagabond's curse, of the grail's deep longing, so many half-memories. Okay. So this can be turned into 2 vagabond... Actually, I think we're already there. Am I losing my mind? No, right. So that's 2 vagabonds maps. Wait, but that's also 2 Okay, let me just double check this. So we go... Port Noon Anecdotes requires vagabonds maps. Vagabonds maps require unresolved ambiguities. So, unresolved ambiguities turning into vagabond... 1 vagabond map. Right, okay. So we'll have 1. I need a second one, so that'll bring me down to 2 unresolved ambiguities, so I need 2 more. Which I can actually get from the Forbidden Epics, but we're still going to plug away at the spider's door, just because it'll make things easier. So I have to beg for my position back. Not pleasant, but necessary. Okay, so first things first. Clear out the fortune teller. I think we'll send Clovette to search out the city. It's gone, we're safe. Showing up to the work late, clearly having wrestled with spirits. I guess depending on how the, so arrival intends to end a hunter, this may be to my advantage, but it may also draw attention. This one I need erudition or the library, so we'll be fine. So there's the library. Okay, we'll hire the fortune teller. And I need to make sure that I use my reason here. I am disciplined. I am all discipline. I haven't lasted this long to give up so easily. Okay, I kind of feel like we're back on track now. The Connie thing is a little silly, but I think there's like a little bit of, there's some evidence. There's some evidence I need to get my job back, but for the most part, I think we're in good shape. Last night in the Mantis, I visited the Mallory, from whose impulses and rotations one does not emerge unchanged. There are many radiances there, from the fires and the forge, and her names and her instruments. But one radiance lingers behind them, all like a fading music, the last light of the sun in splendor shed in the moments of his division, here where the forge is strongest. Now that I have awoken, I see that radiance still. Okay, still want to go to Spider's door. be yet another season of ambitions. Glad I have the reason for it. Oh, nope, doesn't trigger. Okay. Reinstated for now. Now, this is probably not the smartest thing for me to do, but I'm actually going to see if I can use the heat to try King Crucible again. Glimmering, which we have. Tampering with records, I await word. So I'm willing to wait on this one because depending on what happens with the Callagine, I may want to use it to explore the city. My minion has returned, the evidence has been destroyed, I am a little safer. Temptation is past for now. Alright, so other than the fascination, all of the threats are off the board. So I may need to renew the fortune teller and... that's it for now. This may ultimately bring the Suppression Bureau to my door. Oh, sorry, I should have read that. You know what? Eldridge, let's see how you handle this. My minion is powerful, the hunter is unlikely to survive, but the attempt will draw attention. It's a little bit of a waste of King Crucible at this point, but... man! This is like a cursed influence. Alright, so this should be Rarefied Mind. And I do need to rehire the fortune teller if I don't get my library back. I'm gonna look like I've got a tan and I'm showing up late for work. Absence has been noted, I've been suspended. It's gone, we're safe. Okay, so we're not going to mess with the Callagine anymore. I think that's, you know, just set that aside. Let's plead for reinstatement and we'll do our usual job thing. Really wants me to bring King Crucible back. We're actually out of material for the spider's door, so buy their loyalty for now. So if it takes 30, I think it might actually, we may lose the fortune. No, we'll be fine. I can rehire them if I have to. Oddly enough, I actually just need to talk to them, so my minion is returned with a trophy. All right, cool. So, let's give it the 8.6 seconds, and then if I have to, I will talk to the fortune teller to extend their contract. But I think at this point what's going to happen is we will... So I need to start thinking about where I get my dread from, because we've got 2 fascination. Okay, so... 1 with the fleeting reminiscence. So I'm assuming the worry... well, so we've dealt with Natalia Dragon, we've dealt with Connie Lee, we've dealt with Spencer Hobson. I feel like Zachary Wakefield was dealt with by Rhaenyra, so I think it's just the weary detective again. I guess we'll find out soon enough. But yeah, at this point... okay, so I gotta rehire the fortune teller. I'm safe for now. The meddler's attention must be elsewhere. A relief. Yeah, the next job now is going to be to clear out the fascination. One of these will be a fleeting reminiscence, the other one we're going to get hit by. I suppose in a pinch I could try and bring someone into the cult, but... I don't know, I got other options. We're just going to do a good old-fashioned... actually, I'm going to use a lot of reason on this one, because maybe we'll get a dread out of that. And I've increased my knowledge of the secret histories behind the ones we know. Okay. So happy to have a Vagabond's map. I need to be careful that I don't replace the Port and Noon anecdote. Oop, we're not ready for that yet because I don't have the Glimmering. So we will read sentimental literature. If I propose to learn anything, I wouldn't be reading this stuff. And we put our funds away because we will betray and imprison them in just a second. All right. Of course, of course. This is going to be a problem. Last night in the Mansis I visited the Mallory, from whose impulses and rotations one does not emerge unchanged. There are many radiances there, from the fires and the forge and her names and her instruments, but one radiance lingers behind them all like a fading music. The last light of the sun and splendor shed in the moments of his division, here where the forge is strongest. Now I have awoken, I see that radiance still. So, this is going to be a problem. Let's go and use the fleeting reminiscence with this fascination. I have a couple betrayals to do, and then I don't quite know where I get the dread or the fleeting reminiscence from. I think that's just going to be a passage of time thing. This one away safely. When their screaming and raving subsides, I will subdue them properly. Okay, same fate for the bomb maker. Okay, that's welcome actually. Old and happy far off things turns into dread, which is what I need unless we have a season of despair coming up. Once all that's said and done, I will get Saliba to go and get some more people. Progress, the constant clatter of closing doors, the damp stains on the station walls, the smell of boot polish and unwashed constables. All this narrows to a single crystalline truth. I've made progress and earned myself some overtime pay. Welcome development. Unfortunately, it didn't provoke... What am I doing? Didn't provoke the dread. So I don't seem to have a reliable way of getting that, of making that generate, but that's fine. I pass the time, I've been inclined to tears and afterwards inclined to laughter. Meanwhile, the world continues. So I think at this point it doesn't hurt for me to just go with the unresolved ambiguity again. Okay, new hireling, that's fine. I don't like this, but I am going to go with Saliba again. I take up the rooms in the bookshop a little sooner than I want. It also loses me options in terms of the Blade of Radiance. Okay, back to the spider's door. We still have things we can do there. Spider's door is always thirsty, always. The blood I have given leaks and threads and spills through the skin of the world, and the door drinks it, and a moment's satisfaction swells its opening until I can pass. So, I've got a minute. We'll be fine. So 54 seconds, this turns into Dread, and this is going to need more than a minute to turn into Fascination, so we're fine. I'm going to give a little bit more time for the Inspector's position. I can try to summon Azim using the Writhing Call. I'm very reluctant to do so because I only have one of them. It would get me Frisian, but again, it's just like, it's a nice to have, but I feel like I can get Grail through other methods. And we are looking for the library. All right, I'm going to end it here because we're at the half-hour mark. There's a couple things that I can do here. So, it's 47th episode, right? Yeah, so we've got one more for the week. So the main things that I'm going to have to deal with in the next episode, the intensity of Radiance turns into Fascination. I have a season of visions with a Fascination in it right now, so if that isn't dealt with, that'll turn into 2 out of 3 towards an ending. Of course, we know that the Restlessness will turn into Dread in 21 seconds, and we don't have a Season of Despair coming up, so that saves us from the Fascination. Trembling Heat doesn't affect us. We've got a ton of notoriety, but we actually got rid of all of the investigators now, so that's a bit of good news. And then there's a little funniness going on with the Callagine, but we can handle it. I think I'll be able to betray at least one of the followers before we need to lock away the library. But we'll deal with all of that in the next episode. So thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.